Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Welcome to the ImAssuming podcast with me, Ija Mohan, and today I have, courtesy of Digital News Asia, Mr.
Yeah, you went through
Karamjit.
my agent, yes.
Karam, thanks for doing this.
Absolutely, it's a pleasure. It's a bit of an unknown because I didn't think to ask you what question you're going to ask, which I always get, right? Everybody wants, when you say you're going to interview them, almost always they say, can I know what questions you have because I want to prepare? And I had that instinct to ask you, and I said, no, I'm just going to go and wing it and, just be spontaneous and be genuine, right?
Yeah, and I think I won't be far off the mark if I say I consider you the quintessential journalist.
Once I learn how to spell the word, I will agree with you. But till then,
we're not writing an article, so we don't have to spell it. No, in the sense that I've had the good fortune of knowing you and talking to you before,
okay.
and you are, if you don't mind me saying, no bullshit, straight to the point, cut the crap style, which I think is what journalism needs, right? So having said that, coming onto a platform where we're doing a podcast and you don't know what's going to happen, I can imagine that unstructuredness is not something that you enjoy.
No, actually I do, because my BFM show is, when I was on BFM, is unstructured, right? Because Jeff, I would drive Jeff crazy, the producer of the show, because he said guests would normally give them like a outline or a rough script of what the show is going to be, especially when it's like their show, it's a joint show, right? He's lucky if he gets it like 5 minutes before I walk into the studio. Karam's going to talk about this. Okay, Frida, you're your own. And so I do that. So I don't like the structured thing, because then you cannot be spontaneous. And I guess when you're doing something, when you've been doing something for a long time, Ija, you got so many anecdotes from people, right?
Yes.
And then sometimes somebody says something that sparks an anecdote, and I may cut off Frida or whatever, or whoever I'm with, right? Because I want to bring this anecdote, because I'm forgetful. I'll forget the anecdote if I don't bring it up right away. So that spontaneity is important, and really, people enjoy their spontaneity. Whether it's on stage when I'm moderating things, I'm also unstructured. And when I'm on radio, and even if I'm on TV like that, and I can fall back on the fact that I know so much stuff, having been talking to people for so long, right? And I've been blessed as a business journalist. You talk to smart people, even the people who are not ethical also, but they're smart. But so you download that, right? And hopefully you retain some of that smartness of people, and you always want to try to hang out or speak to people who are smarter than you, who are more exposed than you. Being selfish because you want to learn, right? So that gives me the comfort level that I can wing it in a way. But you prepare a bit mentally beforehand. Although this one I didn't. I resisted going and listening to watching some of the other videos. I said, never mind. Ija is somebody I know well. I'm comfortable with him, so I'll just wing it.
Actually, what you said is exactly true, because even when I was bouncing this idea of, I just want to have a very open conversation with people that I know. Some of the feedback I got from people was like, we are in Malaysia, we don't have freedom of speech. Nobody's going to come on your platform and just talk, nobody's going to subject themselves.
Yeah, of course.
But then you realize that in reality, it's a total opposite, because there's no other platform for them to go and just be themselves. Where they're needed, I think most platforms require you to have, at least you want to look smart, so you have to want to have the right answer. So people tend to be a bit more guarded. Even when in the few times where I've managed to, whether it is do an article with Digital News Asia or come on BFM, I'm very guarded, to make sure that I better say the right thing. Come off looking smart. So it's very rare that you're just being yourself. And the thing that you said about you spontaneity, right? The show is called ImAssuming, right? In the sense, because I want to tackle, there's so many assumptions that we have, right? So in that sense, having known you for a few years, there's always a sense of chaos to your approach, right? So I don't know whether, I get the feeling that you're doing so many things that you're always like rushing here, rushing there, like you mentioned. Or is it that, it's a beautiful chaos that you have that's the rhythm of your life, lah. And that's how you prefer it. I don't know which one is it.
I don't know. It may be. So when you say, I totally disagree, because you made a few points that I wanted to jump in. I bit my tongue because this is your platform.
No, please.
No,
please.
I totally disagree when people say there's no freedom of speech in this country. Of course there is. What? We self-censor ourselves. We think things are worse than they are. They're not. If you look at Malaysia, in fact, the other day, a family member saying that the child is going to, is overseas now studying medicine, now doing specialization. I said, make sure they come back. No. I told them to stay there and make their living there. I say, you are bloody driving a BMW and you want to say, oh, life here is not good. What BS is this, right? This is, of course, we don't like the politics and the racial inequality, right? And the racial inequality, by the way, didn't start with the Malays, right? If you want to get really, it started with the bloody Chinese one, right? And then I realized it's not personal. Sometimes communities, people want to favor their own community. And I see that sometimes with my mom also. She's a Sikh, right? And sometimes I see subconscious behavior where you want to favor a fellow Sikh. And I realized where at one point I said that's racism or that's favoritism. To me, it's just natural, it's normal. Until you point it out to people consciously, you shouldn't do that. Come on, we overdo this thing about, that this is a terrible country or not. It's a fantastic country. I love this country, right? My dad was a soldier. Maybe that's why I have a temptation to look there. So I think people are looking at us from there. No, but there's my dad was a soldier, so maybe that's why I feel a bit more that this is my country, right? Our country. Don't ever let some morons with the IQ of a Jamban, right? And this Jamal Jamban, allegation, a similarity to make you think that, oh, this is not my country or they don't want me. That's rubbish, right?
Yeah.
Just take a claim and then, and we have to get back to the thing. We have freedom of thought. We can say things. Even during Mahathir's time, when people were so scared of him, there were people, the opposition that time, right? Where for one time, government, we don't know what's going to happen next and next week or whatever. Once the Agong has his audience, they may be government again. But, people were free to tell things, were brave to tell because they believed in it, right? Karpal was fearless because justice, he believed he was doing the right thing. And we are way more freedom than Singaporeans that are scared to talk about their government bad. We freely will wreck our government, right? Now even more so.
Yeah.
So please don't tell yourself that, we got no freedom of thought, I cannot say things. Maybe you don't say on Facebook, right? If you say something racial on Facebook, everybody wreck you, everybody jump in. But on a platform like this, fine. If somebody puts comments, like if this was a live stream with comments, I would be happy. I would still say the same thing.
Right.
And I would even give people my address. Hey, I want to give the address of those who think Najib is God's gift to the Malay community or to Malaysia, right? Think he's a superhero. I say, which planet are you all from? That you can still idolize this man, what's that saying they came up with? Malu apa boss.
Malu apa boss.
What a bloody... It's like the people who support Trump who still think he's the best thing since sliced toast. Come, this is my house address. Come, we have to tare. I want to know why you think like that. I may come out thinking these people are totally dungus, right? I don't care.
But don't you think, I think, okay, to be clear, I think we are aligned on the idea that...
I hope we're not. It's more fun when we misalign.
I'm aligned on the idea that I believe that we can talk about whatever we want.
Okay, yeah.
But I also believe how we have the conversation is very important.
Sure.
Right?
Okay, yes,
I think if you are able to articulate your points in terms of from a historical context or from a socio-economic context, okay. But if you're just going to come out and say things like, or the Indians this, the Chinese that, the Malay that, then it's a moot conversation because it doesn't go anywhere.
It's a shallow conversation, but we also I don't fault people also, Ija, because you're saying that you should come from a historical... No, you must know. Most people don't know.
There should be some basis because, when if just say if I'm from a poor community, right, it is very easy for me to say, the greedy Chinese businessman, or this Malay politician, right? Right. I think it's easy to see and easy to say that, but I think there has to be a basis to it. That means if you have been wronged by it and you can articulate that, I don't mean it in the sense that only educated people can speak. I don't mean it in that sense, but I think even there are people who are, I dare say 100 times or 1,000 times more educated and smarter than me. So by no means am I saying you have to be educated to be able to have a conversation. But I think you need to, not just follow an idea blindly because your MIC leader or MCA leader told you to follow, which is the case, I think, when you bring up things like our beloved Najib.
Yeah,
and even Trump is a great parallel, right?
Of course, what?
They live in an alternate universe where they have one or two values that they champion that people follow, whether it is supremacy of a race or whatever. And they totally don't care about everything else.
They gloss over everything else. Yeah,
they don't care. It's like, and what you're seeing now, even in the US, right? And US who has, I can say has been this, how do I say, they have...
Torchbearer.
Yeah, but torchbearer, yes, the torchbearer of democracy and freedom and equality and all that, right? But, basically it has now exposed that the hypocrisy, the real hypocrisy of what they are, this is just all these platitudes that they throw up in the air. But when, when the rubber meets the road, they are such a polarized, ugly, hateful
But these only came about because of Trump. Trump was the catalyst for the polarization to happen. I suspect it was always there. Those who aligned themselves to Trump felt that they were on the fringe because the mainstream media rhetoric was that this is an equality country, right? Everybody is there. If you come and work hard in America will give you a space. You can build your huge house next to the guy who's been here for 200 years, but he still got a small house, right? They made it feel so. These guys were always resentful, but they didn't have a method to express it. I feel the resentment was always there, and then Trump was their way to express themselves. Come out now. So I think it's always there. I don't know. Don't have to disagree. You can disagree with me, but I feel that way. That's why the media also got it so wrong with the last election, right? Trump is doesn't know everything, and he'll lose for sure. They give you the sense.
Why I say the hypocrisy is because there were these communities or these groups who felt that they were the fringe, who couldn't voice out their, all this hate that they had. And now that the guy the guy, basically the number one man in the country is echoing their thoughts, then they're like, hey, now we are actually mainstream. We are not the fringe. So I can be openly racist, openly hateful.
Or to them, it's not racist, just their opinion. Hey, I just, these whites came from Africa.
Credit to them, right? Credit to whoever who has done this properly, in the sense that they have made the word racist so ugly
true.
that even the KKK or white supremacists will not admit to being racist.
Absolutely.
Right? They will not admit to it, right? Because they have made that word so
it's an ugly, one of the ugliest words in the English language or in any translation, any language.
So for them being called racist, they are a white supremacist, but hey, I'm not a racist. So it is. I think those are the things that I find very interesting. Like, you say A to Z from the racist manual, and then you say, hey, but I'm not
racist. My Second Amendment, my right to bear arms is my right, to freedom of speech, to say what I feel.
So in the sense, if we are trying to, coming back to what you're saying, right? I'm in total agreement with you that this is a great place to live, and I'm not Malaysian, let me clarify. I think you know that also. I'm not Malaysian, but I've been here for almost 30 years.
Not Malaysian yet lah.
I'm a PR and all that. And we have technicalities where it delays the citizenship. But my mom's Malaysian, my wife's Malaysian, my son is Malaysian.
Right, absolutely.
If Malaysia does well, it's the most important thing to me lah. Because everybody I love are Malaysian anyway, right? So in that sense that I do feel that this is a fantastic place. And I do feel that we got to kind of do our part. We can't we got to walk the talk lah. We can't just say, this country is, it's so polarized and racist. But then when it comes to your turn, I think I prefer to hire Indian. I prefer, this race. No, I have to help. Suddenly you're just propagating this.
Whether you are aware or not, No, you got to just play your part to mold the country, right? In the shape that you want it to be for you, right? That's why they say, man in the mirror, right? And Gandhi says, whether it's really attributed to him, be the change that you want to see in the world.
I was having this on an earlier podcast. I had Kavin J, the comedian, right? And the conversation veered into racial inequality. In the entertainment industry, which I was oblivious to.
Of course, all of us would be, unless you're steep in it. Right?
So he was saying that people in the advertising agencies or people just don't get jobs in Malaysian movies, even though it's a when you say it's a Malay movie, when you say Malay movie, it's essentially a Malaysian movie.
Correct.
But there's almost never a representation of Indian or Chinese in Malay movies. You can say the same for Chinese shows and Indian shows as well, right? Yes. So you're saying that, and then I realized, there's that part of the argument. And then I spoke to Fat Fapes recently, right? And kind of about the same topic. And then he mentioned that, hey, the producers are saying it's not that we don't want to hire. When we do a casting call, we don't get many Indians showing up for
No, because it's already self-perpetuating. Just like you don't get non-Malays applying for government jobs or for senior jobs. Cannot get. So we have become our own worst enemy. Instead of saying that I'm going to crack the ceiling or how dare I'm going to apply anyway. We have become easily dissuaded from applying for certain positions. Even when I was studying and I wanted to, my first choice was actually to do hotel management. I wanted to go into the hospitality industry. And my dad said, you can go up to a certain level. And then beyond that cannot go because all will be reserved for Chinese. And then so he refused to fund me. He said, being a baifler, I want to study law, got money. Want to do hotel management, no money. I said, hey, as a 19-year-old, I couldn't wrap my head around this mystery. How come got money to do this, but nobody to do that? But it's the belief is deeply perpetuated enough that we just need brave souls to break the thing, say, no, I don't believe it, I'm going to go and try. Because there's such a dearth of talent. A lot of people want good quality talent. Maybe not always, but most of the time, if you're good, somebody will hire you. Really, I believe so. No, I really believe so.
I definitely agree with you in the sense that...
I don't like this show. He's agreeing with me all the time.
Don't worry, I will push back. In the sense that I agree with you on the sense that there's always an exception. And even if there's a guideline saying, for example, don't hire Indian, just say but if you are such a superstar, people will make an exception. I'm not saying that's the case, right? But where I'll push back is, I think there's two parts to this. The thing is, I don't want to come out and say that, there's no such thing as discrimination. There's discrimination, and also there's this entrenched thought that, no point going for the interview, I will not get a job. So I think it's a balance of, we need to work on both. We need to get people to come into and apply for the jobs. We also need to make sure the jobs are being offered.
A bit more fair, But this one you control. Your skill level, ability, you control. Can you imagine if you go in and you're applying for a job and you're also able to speak Mandarin, or if you can speak Tamil, right? And you're not the native speaker. When you can speak to people in their mother tongue, you're connecting with them at the emotional level, which nothing else is more powerful, So what's to stop us from learning another language when we're growing up? You don't have to be polished, right? And I can speak Hokkien if I was doing, when I used to cover SMEs for the Edge, right? On my business card, I had my name it was in Mandarin lah. But they say, why is your name there? I say, because I can speak Hokkien. I don't always throw out the bad words lah. Because I grew up in Penang, I can throw, and people warm to you, you can speak my language. It's so easy to do lah. So cannot say that I will only start when the bar is level, cannot, because there's already a unevenness there, right? There's and that's been said over decades and decades. Except that, so what can you do? And as parents now, what can we do to prepare our kids, right? Don't just keep perpetuating, once you're ready, you need to migrate, leave this country. It's total BS lah.
I mean,
total BS.
If you are leaving the country because I think the value that I always aspire to is always, if you are running towards something, that means, for example, if your son is big on tennis, and then the best tennis coaching system for for youth is just say is in France. So if he's going to France because he wants to excel, that's a different story.
Totally different.
The aspirational part of it, that's okay. But
that's fine.
If it is just Malaysia cannot make it.
Exactly.
If you're running away, that is what doesn't make sense to me.
But people also take the path of least resistance, right? It's easy to do that, and especially with this family member who drives the BMW, the business is doing well. To say that is easy for them to do. You don't see your char kway teow seller or the guy who does works with Alam Flora, whatever, they saying, I want to have my kids migrate. So there's the ability. Despite all the things that you perceive wrong, you already are in a position where at least you're in the T40, top 40%. That gives you the means to get your child. If you got no leg elsewhere, to go elsewhere. So it seems like Malaysia.
No,
see, but I said T40 because in the M40 you got the 20% upper middle income. So I just named them the T40. That's why you have the means to go and do or go overseas and all that, right? To send somebody, you may already have a family member or you aspire to. Easy then. No, but the B60, don't talk about that.
No, but I've talked to people.
Everybody is now going for the B60. What's the B60? What's the T40? That's why I'm assuming you're assuming, you see.
No, but I've talked to people who have had friends who have migrated to say Australia, right?
Okay.
And one thing I always say is, if it is not aspirational, that means you're not going there to better yourself. But if you're just going there because the condition here you feel is shit, I always tell them that, why not just stay here and make things better? Yeah. So, and the thing I tell is, if you feel like a second-class citizen here, you're not going to become a first-class citizen in any other country.
Totally, right? 100%,
And now, especially now in 2020, it feels it's more polarized, this idea of immigrants and all that. Even in Australia, even if you're talking, you don't have to go as far as the US. Europe now is going through a big identity crisis about immigrants coming in, right?
Yes.
So if you think you're going to become a first-class citizen or an eco-citizen in any other country, actually it's not true. So I put this point across to the person, and they said that they asked their friend the same, they told their friend the same thing, but their justification was, and in this case it was Australia, they moved to Australia, they're like, it's okay, at least I earn more here, I can be a second-class citizen here, but I earn more money. So for that, I don't know, that's the economic reason you feel. I feel the cost of living is also higher.
Of course,
But if you feel that's what your comfort is, then I don't know how to explain that.
No, the people I know go because the children, they want a better education for their children. And then, the children, of course, when you grow up there, your peer group, it's easy to just stay there. So they generally not because they're not economic refugees. Maybe they use the excuse, I want to give my children a better education, right, better career, or they think their own career can. Definitely, very few people who when you move there have got a better career there, than they had here. They will struggle. They'll struggle there for sure. But that being it's been there all the while. I don't think it's going to change much. But definitely, if you say that it sucks, I totally disagree.
Yeah,
I totally disagree.
I don't want to be a buzzkill, but I agree with you. I know you don't like me to agree with you. Okay, so since you have actually have the, in your line of work, you have actually...
Go to the journalist part, journalist. You say quintessence. I'm going to learn how to spell the word, okay?
I don't know whether I can spell it. But, having had this... I would say the good fortune of talking to so many SMEs and even large companies, right? One of the pipe dreams I had is always the idea of when you hire and all that, you don't have a preference to any specific race or religion or whatnot, right? Or gender for that matter. So I was having the same discussion with a friend who was running a medium-sized creative and media agency. When I say medium, it's about 75 people or 80 people.
Almost large.
So then it's large, right?
Yeah.
So we were having this conversation, and even his obsession was also that most of the agencies who hire from his industry, there's actually no stipulation on race or religion.
Correct.
Right?
100% none.
But then the idea that I threw about, and I tried in a very small way. I mean, at that point I was running a company of 10 people at the time. So my impact might not be. So the idea or the experiment that I suggested to him, which he liked, but I don't know whether he ever did it, right? Was instead of saying that there's no stipulation for any specific race or religion, why don't we do it the other way around, right? In the sense that at every job listing, you specifically mention candidates of all race, religion, gender are welcome to apply. So in that sense, if just say I'm a minority, or if I'm just say Indian looking at government and I see a government job that says, all races, religion and gender are encouraged to apply, I think just that one line, it's that opt-in trick, right? That means it is an unspoken rule that, we don't discriminate. But why don't you state that you encourage candidates, right? So if I want to be a policeman and I see an ad and I see that says candidates of all races, religion or gender is encouraged to apply. If I wanted to be a policeman, I think I'll be even more like, hey, really? actually it is. Nothing changes, right? Because our framework has no bias. But by just putting that one line there, I think makes a psychological difference.
As long as you don't tell your family and friends, because they say, no lah, bluff one lah, they just put there lah.
But actually that is the society we are in. Because if you talk, I want to be a policeman, oh, you want to take raswa, your man, it's actually a very honorable job lah, because it's service to the country.
Correct, yeah.
But we are so cynical lah. We look at it and then it's they just makan raswa. Yes. So for me, it's like, man, how can you say that? It is a tough job.
Yeah, of course.
When there are thieves and robbers and all this, you are running away, but you're expecting this group of people to run towards, right? Yes. It's a tough job, but the society is not giving it the honor that it deserves, lah. Are there bribery? Yes.
Of course, yeah.
Are they underpaid? Yes. Policemen are heavily underpaid. So sorry, we got cut off because my hard disk kind of. So I'm just gonna. I don't know how much we lost, but in the sense that from your experience talking to SMEs, I don't know whether that'll be an interesting experiment for companies to state that there's no bias towards it.
That never comes up in my discussion with them, right? We're talking about business, about technology, or a little bit about strategy. So this never comes up actually. Never in all my 20 years. Probably not in the next 10 years or so. Really.
But it's also safe to say the focus of technology, you're looking at your interest is more on the technology side. These so-called bleeding edge companies tend to be more, dare I use the word, liberal and progressive in their
approach to talent.
So they probably, if the best person for the job is this person, they don't care if it race, religion, whatever, right? Yeah. So in the sense that maybe if you're in this sector, you are actually on the leading edge.
I totally don't say no, but I also talk to a lot of brick and mortar because technology impacts brick and mortar companies more, correct?
Right.
So it's very important to DNA to talk to brick and mortar companies to find out how they're doing. Because if they don't adapt well, they're gonna get buried.
So you're saying that I know you only as a journalist. Have you been a journalist all your life, or were you doing something before?
No, journalist. After I graduated, came back, joined Business
So did
Times.
you end up studying law? Or?
No. I didn't. They don't say you study. You're reading law.
Okay,
we got the top law university nearby here. I better get your lingo right.
Okay.
No, I did mass comm, but majored in broadcasting.
Wow. Okay. So you kind of knew that's where you wanted to be.
I wanted to be a broadcast journalist, right? But when I came back, Astro was delayed by 1 year to open. They were supposed to open in 1993. Okay. They only opened in 1994, and I know that because I came back in 93.
Okay.
And then I joined New Straits Times but the Business Times, which is a business daily newspaper, as a copy editor, because your language is good, so you clean up the language of the rest of them who go out and meet people.
Okay.
It's just that 3 years later, I ended up going into the writing side of it.
Interesting. I came to Malaysia 93.
93 lah.
At 9 years old, I came into Malaysia. So
we were probably sharing a minibus at one point without realizing. You bent over in the back, I'm at the front.
I used to take from, when I was in school, I used to take a minibus from Kelana Jaya.
Same. I lived in Kelana Jaya. I got off in Bangsala, right?
Okay. I used to take a minibus after school to Chowkit because my mom felt there's the special tuition center in Chowkit. God knows. So you went into. So did you ever dabble with broadcast journalism then?
No, only in the radio, campus radio and TV station, right? Because you're a broadcast major. Okay. But when I came back, I didn't dabble because I was already then a print journalist. Then after 2 years, I joined the Edge.
Did you feel like you have an interest for that? You never had felt that you had an interest.
No, but it's all seamless now. I when I did radio, and then Jeff Sandu said you're natural on radio. Right? I'm a natural on radio because I'm comfortable in my skin, right? And earlier he said it's hard for people to express themselves. They're going on air, whatever, because they need to be smart or they want to prepare. Or they're nervous. They say the wrong thing. I'm very thick-skinned. I think it's very important. If you want to be a journalist, you're going to be damn thick-skinned.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you also must have a strong sense of wanting to get at the truth. Even more important, You want to, and if you don't get at the truth, it leaves you sleepless or frustrated that you didn't do a good job. And the next time you go out, you're going to do a better job. It's super important, because if you don't have that, at least the desire, the need to want to tell the story right and tell it best, then if you're going to be a journalist, it's not a passion, it's just a job to get that paycheck. And most people are working for their job. I understand that, right? So those of you out there who feel that it's not work and you really enjoy it, and you're in the minority, all over the world it's like that. Whether you're special or not, you're just lucky. I was just lucky that when I work, I never looked at the time. And that helps you, because if you don't watch the time, I put too much hours in, I want to go home. When you jump and make the leap as an entrepreneur, it's seamless. Because once you become an entrepreneur, you're even working Saturday, Sunday all the time, right? You cannot be a clock watcher and then think I want to be an entrepreneur one day. No. So it subconsciously helped me for that mental shift.
Okay. When you say, I think it's very interesting when you say lines like, you need to be... well, I don't know what you said. The truth. You say you need to be able to go at the truth, right?
Yeah, you're not go at the truth, but you need to want to tell the story best and tell it right also. Tell it right.
So, do you think in your years of being a journalist in Malaysia, and we look at our ecosystem, right? What percentage would you say? Because the Malaysia Kinis all tend to focus on saying that, oh, we are going against the truth, we are exposing and all that, right?
Yeah.
But if you look at a bigger, compared to all the mediums and all that, what percentage of them do you think are actually going for the truth instead of looking at it as a job? I just have to put out articles versus I really want to. I
think probably when you said that, and I just relying on the number that comes through my subconscious to my mind, is 10% are doing it, because they really hardcore. Like if you cut them, my bleeds ink, right? The saying is.
But journalism is a cause. It's almost a cause for them, right?
And it's a responsibility, because when you write something, then people are reading it, right? And your name is there. You're an insurance agent, any other job, your name isn't there right by the work you do, Your name comes first. They see the headline, then the byline, and then the article you read, right? It's a heavy responsibility. So you want to hopefully have that sense that it's a responsibility and you need to live up to it. And of course, people only enjoy a story well told, right?
Yeah.
And a story well told is you write it well because it's an interview, nothing to uncover, or it's a story that there's a few shades to it, and then you take the effort to speak to other people and put it together.
Yeah, right? I remember growing up reading newspapers. I would look forward to articles from like Citizen nowadays.
Is it? Okay,
He tends to. I would dare say be a bit more controversial. He doesn't mind talking about stuff that other people would usually
I think around. So when sometimes people ask me, "Wow, Karam, you're so brave, you write something." I say no. I say I'm just being honest.
Yeah.
I'm just being. I will stand. Honesty is my guardian,
Yeah.
If I believe something that's the truth, right? I will try to say it as close as I can to it.
Yeah.
And I'm not afraid. So they say the truth sets you free, or Mulder says the truth is out there. Okay, between setting you free and out there.
No, but funnily enough, right? I think more recently, maybe since DNA, you have actually kind of dabbled on the broadcasting realm, right? Because I know you have moderated countless, panels and. You do your Friday show with Roshan. So technically you're going into broadcasting.
Well, it can happen naturally. But I tell you, print journalism is harder than broadcasting, because broadcasting now, when I go in, I got my show shortly.
Right.
But you read up a little bit on the background, and then you're talking to the person and they are downloading everything. If this was an interview for print, I have to record it, take notes while you're talking.
Right.
And then when you go back, after the 1 hour or 45 minutes, there's a further like 6 hours, of understanding the notes and structuring them and including writing them out. For me, it's not 6 hours. For me, it's 8 to 9 hours. I write slow. So it's about 10 hours before a piece comes out, Whereas broadcast or radio, right, it's like this and that's done.
Yeah.
For DNA, when we used to go on radio, the journalists, the team was going to say, oh my God, radio is so easy, man. Just go there, talk, and that's it,
No, but then...
It's a lot easier when you know your subject matter.
But you also are taking your talent for granted. Talent, okay. I mean, okay, I'm not
thick skin now. Okay, you call it talent, I call it thick skin.
But I mean in the sense that, even when I think of reporters, a lot of them that I've seen are like very timid.
Oh, okay.
They feel that they are more about writing in their head, right? Yeah. And for them, looking at even somebody like you who's asking these loud questions and questioning or even being on stage, for a lot of people, public speaking is an impossible skill.
True.
I 100% will give it to you that anybody can speak. It's something you have to just train and get used to. But most people, when they see somebody on stage, like, I'd rather stay here and write 1,000 words than stand there for 5 minutes.
Correct.
Right? So there's a stigma. You have kind of accepted it. You say thick skin and all that. So for you, it's no big deal. This is easy.
And lucky, you're easy. It has come natural to me. So I'm blessed in that sense. I would love to really to say that, look, I was a scaredy cat. I would pee my pants, before going on to stage for 2 minutes. No, for some reason,
even at the start,
it was natural. So that's why my story is not so inspiring. I cannot tell you this is how I did it. I studied Anthony Robbins. I read 5 of his books. Maxwell. I read 6 of his books. And then I had these notes here. I had this, one wall sprinkle everything. No, it just came naturally. So because of that, there's no secret sauce I can share with you. I say if you're naturally not thick-skinned and you're not afraid of people laughing at you, like I said, that comes to thick-skin, same thing. I'm not, right? And you can learn fast. Hey, I made that mistake, or you can learn, or you can adapt on the fly. But even adapting on the fly, easy to say. You can adapt on the fly when you've had a decade of already being in that subject matter technology reporting,
Once
right?
you're entrenched in it, you can tap into your knowledge. You don't have to study it. And then to your point about, being comfortable with yourself, I'm actually a very shy, I would dare say I'm still a very shy hermit, I can say, right? But it took a lecturer in college to call me out and say, you can speak.
Wow.
You are big. Even in your case, you're taller than me, right?
Yeah.
And
I think better looking. Let's take the most obvious first.
Okay. I will give it to you, okay?
Thank you.
Because I have no understanding.
I hope you're listening, my wife.
No, this lecturer told me that, look, you're 6'2".
Okay.
You're big. You cannot shy away from people. Whether you like it or not, people will look at you.
Okay.
And in your case, there's no way you walk anywhere and people don't notice you, right?
That's the disadvantage of being 6'4". You cannot be, you're a journalist, you should be shorter, or you can just stand there somewhere unnoticed, take notes.
So in that sense, it took a lecturer in college to tell me that, people look at you, whether you want to accept it or not accept it, it's up to you. So I made the call that, fine, this is who I am.
Sure.
So I got comfortable in my skin in the sense that, if people take photos and say, I don't care, good photo, bad photo, it's who I am. Right? So I think once you come to the stage, and then you don't really care so much, do I sound good, do I look good in the sense, because it's who you are. Somehow you have managed to get it. We thought a lecturer pulling you out.
Nobody being my mentor, whatever. So that's why I got no a story to tell where, follow this path, right? It just happened naturally.
So Karam, I know you have to go, right? But actually to one of the more interesting things I want to talk to you, and probably this is the reason why I probably want to have you back, is I'm really interested to talk about, especially in your days in DNA, your view on technology companies, startups, and all this. I think that's a really interesting conversation to have. And on top of that, you're very active in our community here, right? So in fact, you are the one that got me to join our
management committee,
and all that, right? So I think there's a lot to talk about that. I think in the sense that we should be more involved, and I think I definitely want to talk to you more on that. So probably we'll do that.
I feel like you're setting this up for part 2, man. Part 2.
Because I know you got to run and do your other podcast.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
So I will let you go now. But this is to let you know that I want to come back, because I really do believe that especially when it comes to DNA and as well as residents and associations, I think there's so much to kind of talk about, and I would love to hear your thoughts on it. So, unless you have anything parting words to say today to set up the next chat.
No. I mean, we can, if you start talking about the technology field and startups, there's at least another 20-minute conversation.
And this is not a paid ad, but you can read Karamjit's work from Digital News Asia. And look out for Karam's podcast, which comes out every Friday.
Live stream on LinkedIn.
But you can see it after. But You share it on Facebook as well?
Facebook, my social media manager will share, but it's on LinkedIn. If you follow Roshan on LinkedIn, then you'll see the link go up probably about now.
Okay.
And then
LinkedIn is a good place for...
Yeah, because it's very senior people, not very senior people or serious people are listening to it. So it's nice to reach that kind of audience. Yeah, less noise. And because, it's technology, I mean, DNA writes technology from a serious point of view, right? It's not gadgets and all. Which is important also, but there are other people doing it. And then Roshan, of course, is leadership and development.
Okay.
Yeah. So, it's a good fit.
Because I've not considered LinkedIn as a platform to be sharing content.
Experiment, it's so easy, right? This is the age of experimentation. Experiment, right? Break things, man. Except my handphone. Break things, man.
I'm sure you've broken many handphones. So, Karam, I want to thank you for coming. I don't need to be late for your live stream.
Okay.
But I'm just preempting you that I will be bugging you to come back again.
Can do. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Welcome.
All right.